Okay. Okay, I am now.
Is it?
Hang on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you click the photo? No, it's starting. You also...
Relaunch update.
Here. Okay.
Hello, tubers. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. It's 8:00 p.m. in Thailand, jumped in Thailand. Hope you can hear me. Let me know. And visually, Cooper's sailing. I think he's on a shore excursion shortly, Portugal area. So he'll be back on Tuesday. And anyways, it's Saturday night, as mentioned, jumped in Thailand. So the news reporting people were concerned, at least my family was, I'm sure most people's family that are located here, about the earthquake. Earthquake was centered in Myanmar. Mandalay was the second biggest city there, apparently, where it was the epicenter was. And it was felt all the way into Thailand, as well as Vietnam. And there was a news report, and it's on the YouTube channels and news, about a 33-story, unfinished, under construction building collapsed in Bangkok, which it did. But that was pretty well the worst of the issues for Bangkok. There will be a loss of life there. Us in jumped in, I didn't feel anything. Some people kind of thought they did, but Jackie didn't feel anything. I asked her. I didn't. So we're all safe and sound here in jumped in. We're about a 2-hour expressway drive to Bangkok. So that's and they did, they had shaking in Bangkok. So some of the condo buildings have visible cracks in certain areas. So they're being inspected. I guess the Prime Minister has, asked all buildings to be instructed. Friday, this occurred, and they actually shut down the MRT, the overhead rail system, the expressways. Obviously, some of them run overhead, were shut down. So yeah, a bit of a chaos on Friday, but things as of today, I was checking the news before coming on, are back to normal. So that's good news as far as the transportation goes. So, but yeah, that seemed to be the so-called excitement, I guess you might say. Thailand is not prone to earthquakes, from what I've read. Myanmar, on the other hand, is on a bit of a fault line. So, yeah, this was kind of an exception, you might say. As I mentioned earlier, there will be a loss of life on this collapse building that was under construction. The reason being, it was fairly busy with workers who would predominantly be Thai workers, I'm sure. And it came down quick, kind of like the Twin Towers when they collapsed, if you watch the video. So that was quite, and it, with the cell phones nowadays, everyone was, there's reports everywhere and you can see videos of it. So, but anyways, that's that. Other news, Myanmar's asked for, any foreign help that they can get. And I know, I think states are sending a plane load of people. Same with Russia, Singapore, a lot of news reports over there to Myanmar to assist with, they've got a lot more construction problems, let's say, collapses, bridge collapses, building collapses. So you'll get more news on that. But anyways, weather's beautiful in Thailand. Great news. The pool is ideal at Dusit here. So a lot of us are swimming daily now again. And yeah, the weather's great. So maybe we'll just, without further ado, get into the comments here. Scott Jean. Hi, Cooper. Came to your apartment, but you weren't there. No, he wouldn't be there. He's on a cruise. But I talked to an African-American man who you interviewed a while back, ex-Navy man. This is Scotty from New Zealand. Yes, Scotty. There's a lot of subscribers in Dusit. So, you hang out in the pagoda or the cupola there for an hour or so, you'll see a whack of them coming and going. So, and it's busy season. So, there's Chinese tourists, Russian families. So it's a busy spot. Tends to empty out, though, at the end of April after Songkran ends. You'll see quite a big difference in May. Vincent says, hey, I hope there was no earthquake damage to Pattaya and Jomtien. Correct. There wasn't, Vincent. In fact, as I said, I didn't notice anything. Most people here didn't notice anything. So it seemed to be in a nice area here. We don't seem to, get the bad storms. And obviously we didn't get this earthquake. So yeah, all's good in the land of smiles for this boilie. Let's see, Coopersthaiadventure. We want the show. We want the show. We want the show. Yes, you do. That's Cooper and Darlena. If you get a chance, guys, hit that like button if you find this useful. It does help the channel, apparently, but most importantly, it makes Darlene smile. She's got a great smile. Vincent says, yes, we want the show. Okay, thank you. Terry Fallon. Good morning, evening CBD. I wonder where Terry is, where it's morning, probably in the West. There we go. Not this again. The hell do I get back there? Bear with me here, guys. I gotta just figure out what I've done here. No, that's not it. Exit full screen. There we go. Okay. All right. I think I figured that out. Good. Terry Fallon. Let's get back up here now. Where are we? Scotty, yes. Says, good evening from Vietnam. Good evening, Vietnam. Good morning, Vietnam. Wasn't that this movie? Good morning, CBD gang from Omaha, Nebraska. That's from Hunter Orion. I think Hunter was over here. Yes, we met him. I think at the meet and greet there a couple months back. Coopersthaiadventure. Happy lunchtime from Portugal. Wonder what language they speak in Portugal. It's a joke. It's Portuguese. Rodney. Good morning, Coop, Darlene, and Brooke. Rodney, I wonder where Rodney is. Good morning. He must be in the West too. J.E. Washington. Sounds like a president. Good morning. I hope everyone boots on the ground are doing well and suffer any damage or injuries yesterday. No, we didn't. Mind you, there is subscribers living in Bangkok, so and if any of them are watching, they could put a note up. Hua Hin is closer to Bangkok, you might say, closer to that area. So, there's subscribers there in Hua Hin. Haven't heard any reports on them. And Chiang Mai had a bit of cracks, let's say, damage-wise. I don't believe anything toppled, but, buildings, if they get a shake like that, they can tend to get some structural cracks. So, and they would be closer being from the north. So interesting if there's anybody on from Chiang Mai would be able to put a report in. But that's what we know. And here is good old Malcolm. Malcolm's our resident gold bug. Good evening from Bruny Island, Tasmania, Australia. It's midnight there. Well done, Malcolm, for staying up. Say hello to Pattaya, your lovely girl. And that's apparently, guys, the southernmost part of Australia is Bruny Island. It's even below Tasmania. J. Washington, that should read, didn't suffer any damage or injuries. Okay. Let's hope that stays the way. Aussie T, a very good morning to all from Australia. Wow. I thought they're only 4 hours ahead of us. Of course, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Michael Rebicki says good morning. Okay. J.E. Washington, Brooke, thanks for the updates. It's not changing our plan. We'll be boots on the ground around 2nd of June. Yeah, I think, the news typically tends to sensationalize a lot of things to, create news and, but again, in Jamti and Pattaya area, honestly, I haven't met anyone that's said, oh, wow, I heard there was an earthquake in Myanmar and Bangkok. Oh, did you see that? But we didn't get affected here. So pretty safe area. I wouldn't put your plans on hold from that. Fairly isolated incident. 2 years I've been here, that's the first time I've heard of that. We're not on a fault line, apparently, in Thailand. So chances are remote that there will be, issues like that going forward, but it's always an occurrence that has a, greater than zero chance, I guess they say. Rodney, how are you? And hope you guys are doing good with the earthquake situation. We're doing fine. Again, sorry for the workers in that building because, there was people working in that building who have yet to be accounted for. So kind of know what happens when you see something like that on the video collapse. And they're saying, 80, I think it was 81 last night. There could be up to 100 missing with the surrounding area. But anyways, prayers for them. Terry Fallon, Brooke, 12 inches of fresh snow overnight and still falling. Oh, yeah, Bancroft. Now I forgot, Terry, but thanks for reminding me. Make it stop. Well, here we are. Jesus, it's the end of March, damn near. And you got another foot of snow up in Bancroft, Ontario. That's Northern Ontario. But, well, look on the bright side, Terry. You might get your last snowmobile run in if you can get out there with it. So snowmobiling was fun, guys. Had my turn out in the old days. But you get older, it's less and less snow you like. Now, probably most of Canada is not under snow at this time of year. So, but you get into the northern parts, northern Alberta, yeah, you can, still have snow, even, northern Ontario like they are. Craig Mitchum, any idea when Trump's going to fall out with Thailand? I don't think Trump's going to fall out with Thailand. Let's hope not. Don't know how much trade they do with Thailand. He seems to be focused on countries that have, and that's an interesting point. I think I'll check that for Monday's live stream, Money Matters, to see what the trade deficit is, if any, or surplus, Thailand and the States. In my opinion, Trump's kind of going after the trade issue. So yeah, if they're in a trade deficit with Thailand, he might want to look at that. I know that he's got a big one with Canada, so he's got to burn his bonnet about that. So we'll see what the Canadian powers to be end up doing. John Bain, greetings from Siem Reap, Cambodia. Let us know there, John, if anything, if you felt anything there, if you were there Saturday on that earthquake. Coopersthaiadventure, hit the thumbs up for Brooke, please, and make Darlene smile. That would be Cooper putting that in there. Thanks, Coop. Tommy Lee, the Tominator. Look at that smile. Good evening, Brooke. Good evening, Tommy. I think he's in New Jersey, Tommy is. Philip Hunt, 16 days and counting. Final push to close things up here. Well, Philip is a lucky boy. He's coming over in 16 days, but who's counting, eh? Yeah, he'll be excited. The weather's great here, guys. As I said many times, and for you that are new, man, I was in Florida for 20 years straight as a snowbird. If I'd have known about Thailand, I would have been coming here for a quarter of the money. I would have been saving every darn month. I was doing about 5 months, 6 months sometimes in Florida. So just be ideal here because actually, Southern Ontario, May, June, July, August, kind of ideal weather, similar to Florida for, the winters. So, but here it's the same year round. So, man, I love it. I've been 2 years now. And yep, I just kind of wish I'd found out earlier. John Bain, headed back to Hua Hin tomorrow. I think that's home base for Bajan is Hua Hin. So, Wayne Wilkinson, Cooper done a video on retirement visa saying you could get a retirement visa if you had a criminal record in your own country. I applied for one and I cannot get it at. Is that right? Wayne, I do not have an answer that I feel comfortable on that, mainly because I don't know. So that is something I would definitely, if it was me, I would contact Singh at Thai Visa Pattaya. You can do that through, Facebook, his Facebook page, Thai Visa Pattaya. His name is Singh. Email him. It sounds like you're probably in the West somewhere. Email him and explain the circumstances, be specific, and he'll get back to you. And, if anybody can do it, he's the guy. So, yeah, I mean, it depends on, the record. I mean, geez, when I was a kid going back 50 years, 60 years ago, kids were getting criminal records for possession of a joint. I mean, if it's 30, 40 years ago, like what the hell? I mean, that's ridiculous. And I know there's ways to maybe get pardons, like get it taken off your record when it's that old and that minor, you might say. So, but that's something, Wayne, I would not try and do that myself. I would look for a professional to help get someone who's in that field and can give you, specific advice for your specific circumstance. I've got good faith in Singh. If anybody can do it, he's the guy. So, yeah, give him a buzz. Giovanni Poulos, a.k.a. Yanni. Good day, Brooke. Good to see everyone and jumped in is safe and doing well. It's about time you jumped into the pool again. Yeah, Johnny was actually, for you that don't know, Johnny was a member of the Stooges, okay? And when he's over here, he's has a lot of fun with his fellow Stooges, myself being one of them. And the pool was where we had most fun. So hope to see you back soon, Johnny. He's getting things straightened up in Australia. So we expect him back here shortly. Big Lee, good morning from Houston, Texas. Good morning, Big Lee. Johnny P says, hi, Brooke. Do you have any thoughts about Thailand joining BRICS? Why? What's that going to do for you? What's the benefit of these BRICS countries? Well, we're going to get our own currency. We're not going to be reliant on the US dollar anymore. Yeah, good luck with that. I think they've talked about that. Now if they actually took Bitcoin as their reserve currency, hey, then you could see things start to jump. But I can't see them getting enough agreement amongst those countries, the specifics as to how and, it would work. So, yeah, no, I don't have any thoughts about Thailand. I don't know if they've joined it. Yeah, I can do that research, maybe have the answer Monday. It's not a big deal for me. if Canada was going to join BRICS, wouldn't that be a laugh and a half? But yeah, the US dollar is still the world's reserve currency. I've mentioned many times in the past, I'm Canadian, and I have more faith in the US dollar than the Canadian peso. So that's where I keep all my investments. I don't like fiat money at all. It's paper, it's not backed by anything. And unfortunately, the US government keeps printing money with gay abandon. So I try and keep very little paper money and keep my investments in what I call hard assets. And I recommend that. But we can go into that more on Monday. But no, I don't really have, I think I wouldn't worry about it. As far as Thailand joining the BRICS. Rage Bulas, Coops spending all those slot winnings in Portugal. No, Coops had some very, very tremendous luck in, I'll let him cover that when he's back. But I advised him what I'd be doing off each win, put it away, bring it home. So we'll see if he does that, because I'll be there ready to help him count. Rodney, hey, Brooke, I live in Lawrenceville, Georgia, but on my way soon. Well, good for you, Rodney. Lawrenceville, Georgia. I used to drive through Georgia. See, when I went to Florida, I would drive in the fall and come back in the spring, early spring, and you always had a long drive through Georgia. Georgia's a big state. Go right through Atlanta. Blakester Drums, top of the morning, evening for you from Virginia Beach, Virginia. My XRP went bye-bye, so hopefully you sold, Blakester. I think it dropped a bit, that XRP. But there's still a segment of the subscribers here that like it. So we can go over that a little more on the Money Matters. Daniel Hall, Denny Vega. Thank you for being a channel supporter there, Denny. That's what that little sign next to his name there is. I think Coop said it's $2 a month and helps the channel basically defrays costs of, videoing and, that stuff. Danny says, I checked my flight and I'm still taking off from Tampa on April 1st and arriving in Pattaya on April 3rd. Yeah, you've got about a 48-hour flight by the look of it. No, I'm just kidding. You jump over the date line. So if you left late on a 1st of April, and you jump ahead a day or two, at least a day, maybe more, depending on the hours, because that's how that works. Now, the funny thing is, if you go backward, back the other way, then you could arrive earlier. It's hard to believe how that works, eh? Malcolm Hawken, it's like shooting at you through a shotgun barrel with the screen thingy. Yeah, hey, that's right. I kind of like this, guys, because you get a little bit of view of Pattaya Beach there. I think that Coop said that's Wangamat with the tall towers up in the left there. But yeah, you get a little, that's kind of like where we see, it's kind of like, even in Jomtien, you get a similar view to that. I think that's Kolarn Island off on the right there. You can go there for a nice day. That's the place with pretty reasonable. You get the scooter, one night's accommodation, and your breakfast included for around, it used to be in low season, 1,500 baht, but friend of ours, Brownie, and a bunch of Chris also goes there. They love it. And beaches are quite beautiful over there. And I think it's like $1 to get on the quick ride on the boat over there. So anyways, Malcolm, you stay warm down there in Antarctica. But John Bain at Daniel Hall, Danny Vega, you're getting into a time machine. Marvin Barnes reference. Okay. Nomad Jack, also a supporter. Thank you, Nomad. Good evening, Brooke, from the Philippines. 20 days and counting. Well done, Nomad Jack. In fact, when you present yourself, we'll have a medal for you. Anyone who's come from the Philippines deserves a medal. They put up with that. I lasted not quite a year there, and lovely people, I will say this, great people, but the paperwork and the infrastructure is not as good, and the food's not as good. Boy, you kind of get spoiled when you compare the two to, Thailand to the Philippines. But anyways, I advise everyone to go to the Philippines. Make your own decision. I'm just one commentator, but yeah, you maybe do what I did. I went there, found my last love, and we're happily married and living in Thailand. Giovanni Poulos, aka Southside Johnny. I was thinking about staying in a high-rise building in Bangkok. Oh yeah, right. For a while when I returned one day, but after seeing the buildings swinging so much, not so sure now. Luckily, nobody fell out of the pools. You know, they had these videos posted on YouTube, and actually some of the news channels reported it last night. The buildings were swaying, these high rises, and and the water was splashing over the infinity pools, I guess, down onto the streets. So yeah, that would be a little bit scary. Yeah, you wouldn't want to be in them, but I personally don't care for the big cities. In Canada, we've got Toronto, Vancouver, Montreal. I've been to them all. They're not my cup of tea. I have young nieces and nephews that absolutely love it because they don't need a vehicle. They just use the public transit, and there's jobs there. You can get the whatever. But no, for me, I prefer the quieter life in Jomtien. It's not as quiet here as Bang Saray. If you really want quiet, I would say there's a place. And if you're younger and you want the action, you go to Pattaya. So you got the best of all the worlds here. Johnny, you'll be happy in Jomtien. Philip Hunt, another subscriber. Thank you, Philip. So I have one last thing on my checklist, a throwaway ticket. Yes, get that. Any website recommendations? No links in the chat. So no links in the chat. I think if you go on to the Facebook page, Coopersthaiadventure community there, and put that question, I mean, it's been posed. There's all kinds of answers. Even if you Google now, I've kind of started using these AI applications on the internet. So I was with Perplexity, and it was good. So if you download that app, Perplexity, but the one I've got now, and I like it even better, is called Grok, Grok. Now I'm an Appleonian, so I got Apple products, and it's in the App Store. It's free. They don't cost you. And I'm sure if you put it into something like one of those search engines, Phil, you would get recommendations on, cheap tickets, say one way. You just need a one-way exit ticket. Make the date of the exit prior to your 30. Well, yeah, make it 30 days because, if you don't stay 60 or whatever, but if you stay 60, then, I'd still make it for 30 because they don't care and you don't need it after you enter. And, look to Taiwan, possibly Ho Chi Minh City, Laos, even any close by city here that's got a cheap flight. I think the most I paid was $39. I think I paid as low as 19. So, or I've heard people pay that. So yeah, that you'll find resources there. But yeah, definitely get it. I've never been asked. I don't think anyone I know. Cooper's never been asked. Darlene, Jackie. But hey, you don't want to be the one guy that is asked and don't have it because stories they could turn you around. So, White Lime, there are very different rules for applying for a visa home country versus inside Thailand. Yeah. So your question is you want to make sure you can get a visa on arrival. I would think you should be able to. If they let you board the plane, but yeah, but Singh probably would have the answer for you either way. And I would go with what if he says, oh, you'll have no problem at customs here, and then he can work on it here, fine. If he says, no, do it outside the country to make sure, then you probably should do that. It's like everything else too, White Lime. That's just one man's opinion, mine. So do your due diligence, maybe check with a few agents and, get comfortable with the one you like, as should anyone. David Lowe, there's David. I think he's back in the West. Good morning. Yep, from New England. Missing Pattaya already. I'm hopeful to get back soon enough. Yeah, we had fun at Route 66 with David. I'm good. I'm looking for long-term rentals. I need to get back and keep the ladies feel safe at night. With those earthquakes, guys. Yeah, David, you'll definitely have no problem. There'll be lots of ladies feeling safe with you. So, yeah. So long-term rentals, there's all kinds of them here. And, if you're new, now David's not, he's been here, so he's got an idea where he'd go and, possibly even the building he'd want to be in. After high season, you definitely get big advantages here, guys, for not only supply, but pricing. So the supply jumps dramatically because the tourists are gone after Songkran. Consequently, the prices, with increased supply and lower demand, your prices would tend to drop for your accommodation. Now, if you're booking long term, and what I mean by that, a 6 month, a year's even ideal because you get the best price, but you can get definitely good deals. So not to worry on that, David. Lost Boy, good morning from South Florida. Miami area possibly, or Fort Lauderdale. I know those areas too. Simply Social. Boy, look at all these channel members. The great Trump is making the US dollar stronger and stronger. Look at the history of tariffs and the US will be very rich. Well, time will tell. Trump's done an interesting thing. He's letting people, I think it's $5 million. You put $5 million up and you can become a U.S. Green card holder. I don't think you can get a residency, but you can definitely, maybe you can, but you definitely can get into the U.S. and work and, and do whatever you want. But so that's okay. He's a smart guy. Get the money. Now, what would be even smarter if he took that and bought Bitcoin with it. So that's how you can not touch the deficit or the tax money to buy Bitcoin. You do little things like that. But yeah, the US dollar is the reserve currency of the world. And, it's the least of all the poor currencies or evil currencies. You'd say it's the least bad, I guess. Simply Social. Any members have a pickup service going from airport to Jomtien? Yeah, Mike's Taxi is great. First off, if you get here and you don't have a clue, you just simply go down to the departures. No, it's arrivals. Oh, anyways, one of the levels where they have all the taxis and the vans, and you can just pay there right at the airport to take you anywhere you want to go. So, and they have fixed rates. But Mike's Taxi, you can, and if you download the Bolt app, that also is a possibility, because there'll be people possibly that would drive you right from Bangkok to Jomtien for like a taxi fare. But Mike's Taxi will do it at, it's 1,000 baht. So there's your comparison. If you're flying into Don Mon Airport, you're 1,400. It's a little further, but Sukhumvani Airport, or whatever they pronounce it, yeah, you're about 1,000 baht for Mike's Taxi. Again, if you check on Google's Thai Adventure on the Facebook page, guys, there'll be lots of answers as to who people use for that to get some other ideas. I personally use Mike's Taxi, never had an issue. What I like about them, they'll stand at the arrival with your name on one of those placards, like like a VIP almost. Mr. Brooke, yeah, that's me. Malcolm Hawkins says currently it's 8 degrees. Well, I hope that's not Fahrenheit, Malcolm. No, it's centigrade down where he is. But that's nippy. Like when you're used to this Thai weather, guys, you don't get anything under 20. Most days, you don't get under 30. And you kind of get used to it, and you really like the warmth. And I know when they first got there, my God, it was just above freezing. And, poor Pattaya, his wife, was just about shivering, didn't have enough warm clothes. Malcolm kept her warm, I'm sure. Simply Social, yes, thanks for the advice on the Philippines. You were absolutely telling the truth. Well, we always tell the truth here. Try to. Tommy Lee, the Tominator. Hey, Brooke, where in the Philippines were you? Excuse me. I was in Cavite province. So it's south of Manila, about a little over an hour drive, an hour and a quarter. The closest big city was Das Marinas. I lived near there in what's called General Trias. And next to that, it was kind of like 3 cities in a row, was Tres Martires. So, and then Jackie's from the other side of Das Marinas, called GMA, right, honey? Yeah, General Mario Alvarez or something. It was what it stands for. So yeah, and they have transportation between the cities, these jeepneys. But that's where I was. I did tour a bit of in the 8-10 months I was there, a bit of the Philippines. Didn't get to Cebu at all, or but I was at the big mall of Asia, Manila. So you saw the big cities there, and yeah, interesting time. Great people, just the infrastructure is not the best. Lost Boy, 12-day countdown till I'm back in the land of smiles. Whoa, but who's counting? 12 days will put you into early April. Yep. Yeah, great. Any of you guys that are holding off coming, I don't know why, man. It's you live here awful reasonably priced. People are great. The weather's ideal. It's fantastic. And if nothing else, come for a holiday and find out for yourself. Tommy Lee, I heard Manila is better than other cities. Yeah, Tommy, you go and tell me what you think. I was with Coop one time, and the cop seen a foreigner and pulled him over. He wanted money. Oh, you made an illegal turn. Where? Well, back somewhere. Back. They get their hand out there, those boys. Manila is just, in my opinion, too big. It's kind of some bad smells in areas, really, really bad slums in some areas. Unfortunately, they haven't taken care of the local waterways, and they're quite polluted. So they do have, throughways, some expressways, but consequently, they've got a lot of traffic issues, like traffic jams. So, but obviously, being a big city, you got everything. You got the foreign restaurants there, you got malls there, you got everything. But it's more expensive in Manila than outside, obviously. But yeah, you'd have to go and make your own decisions there, Tommy. That's what I would say. If you were comparing it to Bangkok, and I don't like big cities, I'd definitely take Bangkok. Captain Action, there he is. Henry from Tampa. Happy Saturday, Brooke. Thank you for a great show. Hello to everybody in the chat. You guys are amazing. Well, so are you guys. Absolutely amazing. Rage Bullis. Hey, Brooke, thoughts on missing low season arriving in October, November? Do you think you could still find reasonable rental rates in Pattaya Junction? Absolutely. You'll always find rentals here. I think it's because they're constantly building. They build. I think partly because, definitely cheap labor. Maybe the materials are cheaper too, and the land's probably cheap for these guys. But they say if they sell the 49% of the units to the foreigners, which is the foreign quota, they've got the building paid for. So the rest is gravy. So maybe that's why you'll always get a supply coming onto the market. Now, sure, it's high season. It doesn't fill up immediately in October, nor November. January, I would say, is, probably one of the busiest, and as well April, because of the physical Songkran, like, the water festival. But, you'll definitely find locations October, November, and reasonable. Okay, so maybe a one bedroom that was 12.5 and off season is now, 15 to 17. What, $150 more? It's not going to kill most people. And if you negotiate a year out of that, you probably will get a cheaper rate for that, even during the, October, November time period. So obviously, if you're landing in May, June, July, you're real early still for like the off season, the slow season. You're right in the middle of it, so you're definitely get the best prices, I would think. Now, when they get a little closer to November, the high season is definitely getting into swing. You're gonna, it's a little more they might ask, but don't worry, there'll be lots of availability, and it's probably a lot to do with how good a negotiator you are. Obviously, money in the hand's worth, I can pay you 6 months in advance, 3 months, whatever period you stay in, gets you the best deal. LV Abroad, got my 125 shares of iBit. 30 at Tesla. Well done. Yesterday, let's see what it is in 2028. My small gamble got my toe wet. Yep. Well, that's a smart buy. We'll probably talk more about that on Monday, guys, on the Money Matters. But Albie's done a good job. I love Tesla as my AI play, and I bet is your Bitcoin play. So it's pure, and you don't have to hold the shares. You put that through your brokerage. So, you just kind of sit back and wait. Good for you. Well done, Albie. I wondered what's Duke doing these days. Grok is XAI, which belongs to Elon. Correct. And just acquired X Twitter fully yesterday. Yep. Yeah, I don't mind Elon. Some people don't like him, but hey, give me something that works. And Grok works fine for me. That's, I wondered what Duke's doing these days. Flying out to Thailand for a couple weeks in a few hours. Well done. Well, that's good. You'll enjoy it here. 2 weeks, so that's a short stay. But hey, any stay in Thailand is better than no stay, guys. Just ask Alfa Romeo. So good on you. Check in if you get a chance, Duke, when you're here. White Lime, I was mentioning the visa rules for the guy with the police record. Okay, good enough, White Lime. Hopefully he's watching still and listening to that. Scotty Jean from New Zealand. Hi, Brooke. Went to a block at your apartment. Very flash, very nice from New Zealand. Oh, good for you. So if you came here to Dusset, you can kind of walk in the center and say, hey, I'm looking around. You have places for rent. You can, just check out the place. They'll give you a tour probably, or just send you in to look on your own. Pools are great. They've got gyms here you can access. They've got saunas, steam rooms, and I think it's like 5 buildings. So, big high rises, kind of like in a horseshoe fair, fairly new, I call it 5-star accommodation compared to the Philippines, 1 star for the same money. Yeah. So that's how I look at it. Scotty says, went to Chiang Rai, very cheap. There is cheap, even cheaper than our area in Thailand, guys. Certain areas. People say that Wahin is a little cheaper. Now, hey, guys, you're not saving, you might save $50, $100 on a, $600 rental or whatever, $300 rental. You're not going to save $100, in my opinion. You might save 50, so depends how cheap you want to go. But there are other parts of Thailand that are quite affordable. Although I think this area is super affordable compared to what? Compared to the West, Australia, Europe. You got, Simply Social. Exactly, Brooke. And his team, like Elon, has already found $1 trillion in waste and fraud. He is attacking the He's attacking making the economy better from all directions. Yeah, Simply, I tend to agree. And I'd say let's just give him time to see where it all shakes out. Sure, there's people losing their jobs, and you got to feel sorry for them. But listen, these government jobs, I think, a lot of the hiring just occurred in the last 2, 3, 4 years. And boy, the smaller the government, guys, the better your liberty and better your freedom and better, you will, your fruits of your labor will, accrue to you. You don't need the government, in my opinion, taking your money, because basically that's what it is. They're not earning their own money. They're your taxes are paying these employees. So if we don't need them, if they're not functioning, useful in careers or jobs, then hey, let's learn something that you can, help society with. But anyways, leave that for another day. Scotty Jean, 140 baht from Bangkok to Pattaya by bus. Yeah, those buses are cheap, and I've taken those buses for specific stops. I had to go to the Philippine embassy there, and I think it was a little less than 140 baht, believe it or not, Scotty. But say it's $5. I mean, air-conditioned buses with washrooms. Boy, you can't beat that for a quick trip. And then Mike's Taxi, that'll take you right to the airport. You're not on a bus, you're actually in a nice vehicle. And it's 1,000 baht. So there's your trade-off, guys. Yeah. Stu Lovell, yay, Bangkok to Pattaya, approximately 1,200 baht, still cheap for 1.5-hour ride. And that's something I haven't taken Mike's Taxi in high season. I don't know if I don't think he ups his rates. Could still be, maybe it's 1,200 now, maybe it is high season price. But so instead of $30 or $36 for like a 2-hour drive, guys, door to door, like, try that in the West, you'd be 6-7 times that or more. Simply Social. Thanks, Scott. Scotty from New Zealand. Daniel Hall, Danny Vega, Utapao Rayon Airport, that's near us, is where I'm landing on Thursday, April 3rd. Oh, okay. So you got a flight, like they don't have a lot of airlines that fly into that. There is some, I think it's Emirates maybe, flies in there. So that's interesting because that's real close. I don't even think you're 30 minutes away. So Bangkok, you'd be pushing 2 hours, not quite maybe to the big one. Don Mon, you're probably 2 hours, but Utapao, you're like a 20 minutes, 25-minute drive. So, yep, that's good. We Cooper did a video on that. You can go back and check out if you want to see the look of it. Ernest Jones, good morning, Brooke from Oklahoma City. You are doing a great job. Oh, thank you. Trying to fill in time while Cooper's away, and then he can take over. Matt Smith waves to everybody. Thanks, Matt. Scotty Jean, that's okay. Simply Social. Captain Action, 87 people in here. Hit that like button for Darlene to smile. Oh, yeah. She gets a big grin every time that is, so. Simply Social, Brooke, it is so hard getting rid of everything down to a backpack. I'm having to give some good stuff away for free. It's just hard. Yep. Well, it is now. So, everything you just plan, you make your list and your to-do list months before you come, and just check off your list as you go. But downsizing the things, mementos, things you've collected, is called stuff. Everyone has stuff. Everyone loves stuff. And that's what's hard, getting rid of that stuff at the end. So now, in my case, guys, I rented a storage unit. I don't recommend that. Going on 3 years now. I don't remember half the stuff's in there. And why did I do that? And, I should have just let the damn stuff go. Probably I've paid more than what the damn stuff is worth. So, yeah, it's now family, friends, obviously first choices. Maybe a Goodwill store. We have those in Canada. So, that's they're happy to help. They tend to, help the underprivileged people. So, or have like a garage sale. I helped out with a couple of them back in the day, and they were always fun. Take any offer. That was basically ended up doing. Coopersthaiadventure. Thank you for the coffee, Ernie. You demand. Yes. Speaking of coffee, hello, Cooper. Captain Action says. Where is that guy? Here he is. Hello, Cooper. Okay. W, hi from Queens, New York. I read different things about Jomtien Beach for living. Some say it's a big area for LGBT, and others say Russians flock there. What's reality with your experience? Jomtien Beach is a great area. Both of those are true. Nothing out of what I'd say the ordinary. Nothing shocking. Nothing you wouldn't see in any city, probably in progressive areas. So it's not anything I would say should be of concern. I mean, there's a lot of Russians here in Dusit. This is my going on third Songkran, and what's the big deal? It's busier in high season and it's slower in low season. So a lot of the Russians are here short term, and away they go. yeah, LGBTQ communities are everywhere, including Jomtien, and it's nothing to be concerned about or nothing out of the ordinary. It's nobody flaunts anything. They accept people here. It's called the land of smiles for a reason. Everybody's smiling, and you know what that means? Everybody's happy. Yeah. So you want to be happy? Come on down, hang around happy people. Coopersthaiadventure, 86 people watching, 30 likes, 30 only. What the heck is going on out there? Darlene will be cursing me instead of smiling, guys. So help me out at least. Hit that like button. Make Darlene smile at the same time. Okay, Simply Social. Brooke, where and how often do you have your meetup at? Look forward to meeting everyone there. Okay, so we have that religiously the fourth Tuesday of every month. Honey, when's the fourth Tuesday of April? Can you check that for me? It's at Fraser's. Now, Fraser's is just up from Second Road. I call it Second, but it's not. It's Pattaya or something like that. But you wouldn't even know you're. And it's at 6 p.m. on the fourth Tuesday. Food's great. They got aircon inside, smoking section outside, lots of chairs. We always have a great meetup. I think there was probably, because Coop wasn't there, we probably didn't get as many. There was maybe 35 this past meetup, which was last Tuesday. But the month prior, we probably had 55, 60, similar the month prior to that. You tend to get a lot of new people at these, as well as the regulars, I call them. They just enjoy to do the meeting with everyone they haven't seen in a month. So you get all kinds. And, probably half the people grab a meal and half don't. And, some stay for a meal and head out and others stay for the evening. So it's kind of open to whatever you decide. But Coop and I are typically, if we're in town, always there. I enjoy the meetups. I enjoy meeting the people and seeing how their Bitcoin's coming. Did you find that out, babes? April 22? April 22 by the sounds of it, guys. 1/8/15/22. So the first that's right. First is a Tuesday. So it'll be the fourth Tuesday, will be the 22nd. Thanks, hon. She says, welcome. Terry Fallon. Hi, Coop. Nice score on the slots. Well done, sir. Yeah, Coop, I'm sure will have a video and probably a good discussion on the skill taken to win that much. Okay, where are we here? Okay, we covered that one. So it's April 22nd, the next meetup at Fraser's, 6 p.m., guys. We'll be announcing that beforehand. Terry Fallon. Hi, Coop. Nice scoring. Oh, yeah, we had that. Sorry, guys. Get on to that. Coopersthaiadventure. Hey, Captain Action. Oh, somebody's watching. Coopersthaiadventure. Thanks, Terry. 2 jackpots on 1 cruise. Wow, I'm a lucky boy. At this stage. Oh, yeah, there we go. Okay. Sorry about that hiccup. Jesus Christ. This damn mouse. Got to figure out something to do with that mouse. Frank T, I wonder if other buildings have implemented face recognition as well by now, and if it has affected the owner's Airbnb biz. I think that's why, yes. First off, Frank, there are other buildings. I think the Riviera Copacabana, other nice ones have done it. How widespread in other buildings, I'm not sure, but a big reason is because of the Airbnbs, which you're not allowed at Dusit and several of the other condos by government law to rent for less than a month. And a lot of them were doing 3 days, 7 day, 2 week, 20 day, whatever, Airbnb rentals and getting around the rules, I guess, not concerned about it. So that's why a lot of the buildings went to this. And time will tell if it's effective. I'm sure it will be in some cases, because I know now I bring my bike into the basement, park it, and I go to the elevator. I used to be able to just press the button. No, you got to do face recognition. And if they don't recognize you because you're not in their system, you ain't getting on the elevator. Unless you get on with somebody else, but then you need a card to hit your floor. So, yeah, they're tightening up. Malcolm says 44 days and we'll be back home, warm in the sun. Yeah, I think Malcolm's missing that. But he's back home doing up his stuff. Julie Perkins from Banks Hooray. Good evening to everyone from Adrian and Julie. Good evening, Julie and Adrian. Julie says, hit that like button, make Darlene smile. Okay, well, let me know how many we're up to now. RJ, please stop spreading the right-wing propaganda of Trump and Musk. Why do we try not to? Their Doge savings are misleading and will cost a fortune to rehire those positions that are blindly terminated. Well, that's if they get rehired. But, yeah, we try to not comment too much on the politics here. So, tend to focus on Thailand, the land of smile. Simply Social. Yes, I work for government, 10 people doing one job. Okay, my first job was with the government in Canada. I kind of learned there, yeah, the Canadian government liked to employ what's called the Queen's printer. They were changing forms, seemed every month. And I mean, we'd have reams and boxes of forms to be shredded. Well, somebody got paid for that and never got used. It was going to bankrupt the country. He's talking about the U.S. there. As Elon says, be thankful he's willing to step up. It is unbelievable that people criticize him for finding fraud. Yeah, so that's, I'll try and keep my comments. That's just the subscriber. And I'm reading the comments, guys, so. But John Bain, are the BTS and MRT open Sunday? Yes, apparently, but John, they were closed only after the earthquake on Friday. I guess that came out pretty quick. They wanted to assess the structures. And I just watched the news tonight before coming, and they have reopened. So today is Saturday. So they are, and I'm sure they'll be open Sunday unless there's future aftershocks or quakes, but so far so good. Patrick McCoy, hi y'all, running late tonight. Malcolm says, I'm off to bed, mate. Yeah, he's after midnight there, going for a ride on the big scooter in the morning. His big scooter's a Harley. Well done, Malcolm. British Knight, hi. Were any tremors felt in Jomtien or Pattaya from the earthquake in Myanmar? Not here. Yes, in Bangkok, but not here. From what, I think one or two people thought they felt something, but the majority I've talked to, no, didn't feel a thing. In fact, it wasn't for the news. I wouldn't even have known. Terry Fallon, thanks, Brooke. Got a date with a snowblower, so have to go. Oh, Gary's up in Bancroft. He's going out to run that snowblower. Coop and Darlene, enjoy the rest of your trip on the cruise. Coop's back on Tuesday. I think he leaves Monday, but it takes that time Tuesday. April Fools he gets in, so maybe he's only fooling with that jackpots. Glenda, no, you made it. Glenda Blazin, I met all of you at the meet and greet and had a great time. Oh, thanks, Glenda. Everyone has a great time at those meet and greets. It's always good to meet new friends, make new friends. Everybody's smiling, and we're all here for the same reason. And, enjoy retirement and have a happy life. Captain Action, Brooke, that's me. Ray Nathan, hello. Heard earthquake. How are you? Hope not major. Nah, not a real big issue here. I had a lot of family call. Hey, everything okay? We heard. So, yeah, everything's fine. It's, you wouldn't want to be in Myanmar. That's my view. That's where the epicenter was. So closer you were to that, the more difficult time they will have. I don't think the infrastructure nor building codes are quite as good in Myanmar. And I think when you see reports on the news of the structure damage, probably a lot as to why. Sure, you had that issue in Bangkok, but that building was under construction, obviously not reinforced and not finished. So it came down pretty quick. Unfortunately, there was people trapped, workers, imagine Thai workers trapped inside. They have, time will tell what the, end result is. But yeah, it's now Chiang Mai, I haven't heard much, some cracks on a few buildings, but kind of an odd thing is Philip Hunt. It's nice to say that I will be at the next meet and greet at Fraser's on the 22nd of April. Let's hope a lot of you are there. I'll be there, and Jackie will be there, and hopefully a lot of new friends will be there. Denny Hall still disappeared. I wonder. Who's he looking for? Same here, Philip Hunt. I hope to meet that meetup also on the 22nd. Oh, well, that'll be good. So we'll have a bunch of that are on tonight there, hopefully. Captain Action, 68 likes. Oh, well, that's getting good. Now, I hope I can speak for Coop that, all the new members, maybe with all these winnings, he might buy us all a beer. Don't hold my breath, he says. Dennis Starkey. There's Dennis. Hello, Brooke. Hello, Dennis from Michigan. How's it going over there? I think you guys had a bit of a cold spell over there, did you? Richard Woolley, flying out of Tampa next month. Do you know if I can get a 30-day exempt on arrival at BKK? Oh, yeah. I don't know if it's cut back from 60 to 30. There was rumors that's happening. Coop knows more, but you definitely can get 30, and you definitely can get one extension at immigration for at least another 30. So you got 60 or 90 for sure. And if you want to stay longer, well, I think it's called a border run, or better yet, see an agent. He can work at there's a lot of agents, TikTok services. I personally like saying it, Thai Visa Pattaya, but there's all kinds of them. And if you check on the Facebook group page, they'll tell you a wax of them that they're happy with. Flying out of Tampa, yep, that's a nice airport. I flew in and out of there many times. So you'll definitely get a visa on arrival. Just make sure, Richard, you've got your throwaway ticket for the exit. Are government offices in Bangkok open Monday? That's a good question. I would imagine they are, unless it's a holiday. And I haven't heard of a Thai holiday on Monday. They tend to have a lot of holidays in Thailand. And I mean, I'll be driving. Well, why is this place? Why is everything closed? Well, it's a holiday, and you don't know that. I didn't get it announced, but unless they're doing these structural, checkups, maybe, but hard to say. It's, maybe call or check. That's a good question. If you're needing a government office, are they going to be open? If they're scheduled, hopefully they are. Richard Woolley, thanks, Brooke. Well, okay, guys, that's we're a little over an hour here on the live stream, so that's the end of the comments that I see. So let's see. Monday morning, we've got the live stream. It'll be 8 in the morning, our time, Thailand, on Money Matters. Kind of look forward to that every week. And we'll be discussing, what's transpired in the markets the past week or so. Cooper's back on Tuesday. We'll see if he's going to do a Wednesday live stream. If he's able, maybe he's too tired, but definitely, we'll be back on Saturday, next week. So a week tonight, for sure there'll be another one. But yeah, in the meantime, if you got any more questions, fire away. Usually these run a little more than an hour and 5 minutes, but maybe with Freddie Quinn says, greetings from Lost Wages, Brooke. So is it safe to book a 2-month return flight even though the entry stamp is going to be reduced to 30 days? I would definitely, yeah, that's going to be your return, Freddie. So you want to stay at least 60, maybe more. So yeah, book it for that. Now, get your throwaway ticket for 30. So that's going to be your $19, $39, $50, whatever the heck the cheapest ticket you find as your exit ticket. So even though you'll have your return ticket for your 2 months to Las Vegas, you'll have the throwaway ticket for the 30 days. So you'll be able to present that if they say, well, hold it now, you're only getting oh no, here's my exit ticket. Yeah. Oh, okay, you're fine. So that's how you handle it. That's how I'd handle that, Freddie. If you're even more concerned, go on the Coopersthaiadventure Facebook page, pose that question and see what other answers people might, give you as to how they might handle it. It's good to do more research on things like that just to make sure that you're getting the right lingo. But yeah, Cooper stays up to date more. I'm on the retirement visa, so my focus is more on the investment side. Money matters is my cup of tea, you might say. Cooper's more into the visas and extensions, but sitting with him and listening to him rant on all the time, you catch up dribs and drabs. I do, so that's probably what I would recommend. Philip Hunt, re-exempt is changing from 60-day on arrival to 30, most probably the 1st of May. Well, okay, so according to this, Philip, if you're coming in April, guys, you probably can still get that 60-day if they're making it May 1st. I did hear about this change coming. I just wasn't sure when. So that's helpful. But just, again, getting back, and I mentioned a few times, there's I think there's up to like 1,800 members, and there are a lot of activity on the Coopersthaiadventure Facebook page. It's a great forum to join and ask your questions. And the reason is somebody's probably blazed the trail with the exact same question that you're thinking of or needing to ask. So, there could be a lot of useful answers on the Facebook page, and it's all positive. You don't get the trolls on there. You have to be a subscriber, so it's just not anybody can join. And it's for people of similar mind and similar interests. They're looking at retirement in Thailand, and the answers and questions will be a tremendous benefit to anyone looking at coming to Thailand. So definitely check it out. If you're not already members of that, it'd be worthwhile jumping on there and even reading some of the comments on a lot of the different posts. It will help you become familiar with what to expect and how to handle certain situations. So, yeah, it's great. White Lime says, even if it's 30 days, you can extend for 30. Yeah, you can get your, your 60 days or longer if you do these what's called visa runs. And there's agents that, my good friend Brownie's done that. He's done that a lot since he's been here well over a year. And the agents that put you on a bus, you drive to, I think it's Cambodia or Laos, both probably offer it. And you basically just hop in a line for 20 minutes, get a stamp, hop back on the bus, and I don't know, 3-4 hours later you're back home. So it's kind of all handled, and it's pretty reasonably priced, they say. So yeah, that's the way to look at that for the extensions. So, all right. Other than that, things are good in Thailand, guys. You'll enjoy it when you're back here. If you've never been, definitely come and check it out. I think we'll see a lot of people in the coming year, 2 years, look at Thailand as an alternative to their home country, because it seems from the news and reports you read, economies are in tough shape in a lot of the Western countries, a lot of debt. So people are looking for a lot of people are paycheck to paycheck, and approaching retirement, concerned do they have enough to live on, and you can live fairly cheaply. I mean, honestly, I know people that have retired here on like $250,000, and they're just living like can't spend all the money. We'll tell you more on Monday how they're doing it, but I think you could even live here on less than that. Maybe $40,000-$50,000, you could retire here and still have a monthly check. So, but yeah, I think you'll see a big influx of retirees into, or at least people wanting to spend a lot of time of the year in Thailand because it's so affordable. Philippant, the e-visa also starts on May 1st, so they may tie them together. Okay, there you go. I know I had to do an e-visa for Australia when I went there. I think it's an electronic ticket. You gotta, or just you enter your information. They've got it in their system, so when you arrive at the airport, they know who you are. Quite common in a lot of countries, that e-visa. So, yeah, we'll see. Like anything, Philip, they'll probably start. There'll be some bugs to work out, and then they'll finalize on a system. So we'll hopefully see that it works. Aussie T, is anybody off to the BKK Motor Show? Man, that's a good question. I hope to get there this year. Coop says we're going to go when he gets back. That's it's running now. Last year we were there prior to it opening. He was there. He had press credentials, I think, because he's a YouTuber. He was able to get in there early to video, and he did. Was actually one of his biggest live streams. He had thousands, watching his video when he was live at the car show. So, but yeah, I hope to get there. I know from last year's car show, boy, 50% of that was Chinese imports, and pretty well every one of those was electric, if not everyone was electric. So that BYD, but there's also Neva and some other ones that were there. But you had the, Mercedes, Toyota, you had Ford, you had, a lot of the car companies there. So it's a great show. It's huge. And it's in Bangkok. So nice facilities. Everything's air conditioned. So, yeah. Worthwhile if you wanted to kill some time. Now, we actually went there. I think honey, did we stay 1 or 2 nights there when we went to the car show? 2 nights. So yeah, we stayed 2 nights. Oh yeah, because we went to the show twice. Yeah, for 2 full days, kind of. Great time. Same Ritz says I'm going to the auto show. There we go. Same Ritz says I'm going to the motor show. Smart. Take me with you. Tim P, good day, Brooke and everyone, and good morning from Edmonton at 8 a.m. Wonder if you still got snow there, Timmy. I'm late to the stream, but we'll catch up later with my morning brew. Good for you. Timmy, you still got snow there in Edmonton? Only the end of March. Nomad Jack, a.k.a. Peanut Farmer, will also be at the meet and greet the 22nd of April at 6 p.m. at Fraser's. Looking forward to meeting everyone. All right. Oh, here's a lonesome name from the past. Tony Montana. Usually they're first on, Tony. Must have been asleep. Hello, Brooke, Jackie, Cooper, and Darlene. Hope all is well. I'm a bit late tonight as I was playing pool and I forgot it was Saturday. Hope everyone is well. Yeah, we're good. Haven't seen Romeo on here. He's usually a fixture, but he was on a work trip, so he called me from Taiwan. He was heading to Japan and then back home nonstop, apparently, from Seoul, Korea to Toronto. So that's quite a flight, but I think he's still in the air, so it's probably why he's not on. Tim P. Brooke, 30 centimeters of snow over the last 24 hours. Just finished last night. We got bombed. What you usually get in Ontario. Okay. Yeah, it's not that good in Ontario either, but yeah, Canada's a funny country because it's parts of Canada don't get snow. Like you get down to Victoria on the island there, they don't get snow if any, occasionally, but it's usually gone in a few hours. So you get up like Bancroft in Northern Ontario, man, you get a lot of snow days in a year. So, but Land of Smiles, you don't get snow and you get sunshine every day. You certainly get used to it. You acclimate. And I actually enjoy now going out in the sun for 5-10 minutes a day. Just, it makes you feel good. Warms you right up. When I'm in the pool, I try and stay in the shaded side because that's, the sun's radiation, and, radiation is not that good for the body, especially excessive radiation. So, but yeah, it's a great place to be. Semirits, I hear Japan has issued a warning about Mount Fuji possibly erupting. If it does, it will affect all of Asia. Well, hopefully not then. Let's hope that doesn't happen. But interesting times. So let's hope that I've been to Japan once, but it was only a stopover at the airport. So don't recall seeing Mount Fuji when we were flying in. Maybe. What? You remember that? Yeah. Okay. Jack says we did see it. Timmy P. Brooke, was there much effect from the earthquake in Thailand the other day? Bangkok, had a building collapse, under construction, mind you, so it wasn't finished by any means. And but no, it's definitely Myanmar got hammered. Bangkok apparently was like 800 miles. What is that? 1,300 kilometers from the epicenter. So, but apparently, I guess when these are shallow earthquakes, they're more destructive, and this one was shallow, and it was quite a high, 7.2, I believe, on the Richter scale. That's a serious one. So when you have both a serious number like that and a shallow epicenter, it can be quite destructive. And I think you'll see in the coming days that Myanmar got hammered. So you've got a junta, a military rule in Myanmar, and basically they don't want anybody in or anybody out, and they're kind of a closed society. Well, they're on the news begging for help, so it's got to be pretty bad over there if those guys are, asking that. Johnny, hey everyone, if you're at home watching the live stream, hit that like button on your phone and the TV. Let's double up and hit that jackpot. When are you coming back, Johnny? Your fellow stooges are missing you. Oh, here we go. Here's a long lost son. Hello, everyone, Alfa Romeo says. I just arrived back home in time to catch the show. Wowzer, you made it. Jesus, it looks like I thought we spoke like 2 days ago. You've been in the air ever since. I hope everyone is doing well in the Bangkok area. Yeah, they seem to be. Check with Pin, make sure she's okay up in Udon Thani, that little food munchkin. Samarets, it actually felt just at Grand Park 2 shaking a bit during the earthquake. Okay, well, there you go, Samarets. So I did not hear that. I didn't notice anything. And, it was kind of news to me when I saw the news. And Jesus, you must have a very sensitive feel, Samarets. Okay, Tommy Lee says, Mount Fuji is a dormant volcano. Last eruption was in the early 1700s. Wowzer. So, that's over 300 years ago, Tommy. The article was just a just in case warning. Yeah. You got to be careful with a lot of the news, sensationalism in the news these days. And it's got to a point, honestly, you don't know who to believe or who to trust. And with this AI technology coming, it's going to get even worse, I think, because that's what the scammers are using now is these AI generated. They can get a facial image and voice image that sounds exactly like your mom and dad, son, I need help. Who knows? LV abroad, cold. Could you just walk up to Dusa 2 to look at a condo? Or do you have to find an agent? No, you can walk in the front door. And you can go and ask for Joe, I prefer. Also, Regina, if Joe's not there, she can show you what's available, at least discuss it with you. And if you know one of the subscribers that live here, they can show you around, the facilities and, maybe a unit or two if they've got, I'm in a 2-bedroom. A lot of the subscribers here are in 1 bedroom, some are in the studio. So, but yeah, it's a nice place, kind of centrally located. Prices are reasonable. I like the newness of it. Coming from Philippines, this was like, oh yeah, this is like a 5-star, man. So I had Jackie pick out the one she liked. So she picked both units the time, the ones we took. So, but yeah, you should be able to. And it's funny, guys, like when we first landed, this is going back 2 years ago. We had an agent show us different properties, more than one agent. And we also ourselves walked into, there's a sign, let's walk in up. And, we like the look of a building, like the area, walk in. Oh yeah, the juristic office. Somebody would say, yeah, we can show you a unit. We've got some for rent. So now we were here. We were looking in low season, like coming up. It was actually during Songkran, but they were showing us stuff that would be available May 1st. That's when we were looking to rent. So, but yeah, as I say, boots on the ground. If it's your first time, maybe look at staying in a hotel for 2, 3, 4 nights, like, Holiday Inn Express. I know Coop likes that place down in Pattaya. And then, you can hop on a bot bus. You can take a Bolt as cheap as dirt here. Maybe you've rented a scooter for the week or whatever. And you can zip around and just go knocking on doors and, say, hey, what's availability? And if you say, hey, I don't need it now, I'm looking for May 1st or whatever, bingo, yeah, you'll get lots of options. Alpha says, Brooke, Bitcoin price is dipping. Another great buying opportunity. Correctamundo, Alpha. We'll discuss more of that on Monday. Monday's live stream, by the way, guys. It's at 8 a.m. Thailand time, and it'll be Money Matters. So, Samaritz, I'm from California. Being in some of the worst quakes, sensitive to them. Yeah, you would be. California does, even in Ontario, maybe every 10 years we'd get a little shake, but nothing serious. But you'd hear in the news about, California had one. And I remember watching the baseball World Series one time when they had that bad one. My God, the game got canceled. That was something, man. That really shook. So, yeah. Depends where you're on the planet. Philip Hunt. Good night, all. Great chat and live stream. Keep Darlene smiling. Hit that thumbs up button, guys, he says. Well, that's good. So, yeah, we're an hour and 24 minutes. That's the end of the thing. That's probably a good time to sign off, guys. Thanks for watching. Coopersthaiadventure. Please hit the like button and subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. Also, the Facebook page is great, guys, for research. And yeah, do your research. Hey, if you're looking at investing, do your research. If you're looking at coming to Thailand, do your research. The more videos you watch, the more familiar you get with a subject, the better prepared you are to handle, your life going forward. Yeah, so hopefully we can be of some assistance that way here, actually in Thailand. And Timmy, you got the last comment here. Have a good evening, Brooke, Jackie, and everyone. I've got 35 centimeters now of snow to go move with my snowblower. I've gotten caffeined up, so I've had my coffee and I'm ready to go. Stay well, kids. You too, Timmy, and thanks for being a subscriber. Okay, guys, we'll sign off. Thanks for watching. Stay safe, stay well, wherever you are, and thanks again for watching Cooper's Thai Adventure. We'll see you all back on Monday.